Shane Van Gisbergen might be the most disrespected driver in the entire NASCAR Cup Series garage right now, and the team paying his check is the one holding the knife. That's a heavy accusation, mates, but stick with me because what we've uncovered over the last 72 hours doesn't just look bad. It looks deliberate. A three-time Supercars champion, the bloke who walked into Chicago in 2023 and won on debut, the winningest foreign-born driver in NASCAR history, is somehow showing up to oval weekends with equipment that looks like it was prepped by the C team on a Sunday Arvo. Meanwhile, an 18-year-old kid from North Carolina is being polished, promoted, and pushed up the food chain at a pace that hasn't been seen since Kyle Larson. So the question we're asking today, and the question every fan from Auckland to Adelaide deserves an answer to, is Trackhouse Racing quietly sabotaging Shane Van Gisbergen to clear a runway for Connor Zilisch? By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the contract timeline, the equipment evidence, the engine whispers, and the one Hendrick Motorsports rumor that could blow this whole thing wide open. Don't skip ahead. The pattern only makes sense when you see it all together. Let's start with the kid, because you can't understand SVG's situation without understanding Zilisch's. On the 23rd of August, 2025, Trackhouse Racing announced that Connor Zilisch, barely old enough to vote, would be promoted to a full-time Cup Series ride in 2026, replacing Daniel Suarez, multi-year deal, manufacturer backing from Chevrolet, the works. He'll pilot the number 87, slotting right alongside SVG's number 97 and Ross Chastain's number 1. Now, on paper, that's just smart succession planning, but here's where it gets suspicious. Zilisch finished the 2025 Xfinity season with 10 wins. He won the regular season championship. He won on road courses, yeah, but he also won on ovals, Pocono, Kansas-style intermediates, short tracks. He's not a one-trick pony like the American press keeps painting SVG to be. He's the complete package, and Trackhouse knows it, Chevrolet knows it, and the sponsors, they've already started shifting. Reckon that's a coincidence? I don't. Because here's the part the mainstream NASCAR media isn't telling you. When WeatherTech announced its 2025 primary sponsorship deal with Trackhouse, the press release named SVG and Zilisch as the faces of the campaign. Not Chastain, not Suarez. The two drivers being publicly bundled together were the foreign veteran and the American teenager, and you'd better believe one of them is being groomed as the long-term brand, and the other is being used as the bridge. This is the uncomfortable truth Australian and Kiwi fans have been dancing around for months. SVG isn't being built up, he's being used. Look at the timeline. Trackhouse re-signed SVG to a multi-year extension on the 8th of August 2025. 15 days later, 15 days, they announced Zilisch's full-time Cup promotion. That's not a coincidence. That's a sequence PR rollout. Lock the veteran into a contract first so he can't walk, then announce the kid who's going to take his oxygen, and now the seating chart at Trackhouse looks very different than it did 6 months ago. Quick one before we get into the technical evidence, because this next part is where things get really dodgy. If you're watching this from Australia, New Zealand, or anywhere across the Tasman, and the analytics tell me roughly 9 out of every 10 of you watching right now are do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. This channel exists because the American NASCAR media won't tell the SVG story from our side. They won't ask the hard questions about why a bloke who carried the Bathurst 1000 on his back is being treated like a road course specialist. We will. NASCAR Nation Decoded is built for the ANZAC fan base by people who actually watched SVG drag a battered Holden across the finish line at Mount Panorama. So if you're one of us, smash subscribe. 90% of you haven't yet. Let's fix that today, right? Back to the betrayal. This is the section where I need you to pay close attention, because the numbers don't lie even when the team statements do. Across the 2025 Cup Series season, Shane Van Gisbergen won 5 times Mexico City, Chicago Sonoma, Watkins Glen, the Charlotte Roval, every single one a road course, 5 wins, mind you, in his rookie full-time Cup season. And that's not just impressive, that's historically dominant. Only a handful of drivers in the modern era have ever won 5 times as a rookie, but on ovals, it took him until Kansas, deep into the year, to crack a single top 10 1. His best oval result of the entire 2025 calendar was that gritty Kansas comeback, where he had to overcome a pre-race penalty and a 2-lap deficit just to claw inside the top 10. Then in February 2026, at Echo Park Speedway, he finally beat it, a 6th-place finish, his new career best on an oval, and even that came after spinning twice during the race. Now here's where it gets suspicious. SVG has openly told the media, and I'm quoting the motorsport.com interview here, he didn't come to America to keep racing on road courses. He could have stayed in supercars for that. He came for ovals. He wants ovals. He's begged for oval improvement. So why isn't he getting it? 3 letters keep popping up in the Trackhouse forums, in the Reddit threads, in the front stretch comment sections. ECR Engines, Trackhouse's power plant supplier. Right across the second half of 2025 and into 2026, ECR-powered cars have been struggling on intermediate ovals compared to the Hendrick-engined Chevys. SVG himself, in the first episode of his own NASCAR-produced Racing School series, openly speculated, and I'm paraphrasing, that some of the oval struggles might come down to the engines. Fair dinkum, when your own driver is publicly questioning the engine program, that's not a vibe. That's a flare gun, but it's not just engines. Watch the in-car telemetry comparisons that have been doing the rounds. On road courses, SVG's car turns, rotates, and grips like it was built in a wind tunnel by people who love him. On ovals, particularly mile-and-a-halfs like Kansas, Texas, and Vegas, that same chassis number looks loose, draggy, and aerodynamically lost. Same driver, same team, same garage, wildly different cars. Now compare that to the Trackhouse oval prep that went into the number 1 of Ross Chastain throughout 2025, or the development hours Connor Zilisch is reportedly getting on the simulator ahead of his 2026 debut. Multiple insiders have noted Zilisch has been embedded in Trackhouse's oval simulation program since mid-2025, months before he's even officially racing the car. Where's that investment for SVG? Where's the dedicated oval coach? Where's the data share with the kid who's actually under contract right now? The pattern's pretty bloody obvious once you see it. Road course wins keep the sponsors happy, the highlight reels viral, and the international audience tuning in. But the long-term oval program, that's being built around Zilisch. SVG is the marketing asset, Zilisch is the investment. And this is where it gets really interesting, because SVG might not stick around to be anyone's marketing asset. Whisper networks inside the Cup garage have been buzzing for months about Hendrick Motorsports' interest in the New Zealander. Rick Hendrick is famously obsessed with winners. SVG is a winner, and with Chase Elliott firmly entrenched as Hendrick's road course ace, and the rumor goes that Rick's been quietly evaluating whether SVG could be the next Larson-style versatility hire when the next contract window opens. Now, Trackhouse locked SVG in long-term in August 2025, so any move wouldn't happen overnight. But contracts in NASCAR have buyouts. They have escape clauses. And if SVG keeps grinding through season after season, watching Zilisch get the prime oval equipment while he carries the road course load, you'd better believe his management will be on the phone. Here's the kicker. Hendrick has Chevrolet engines, the good ones, the championship-winning ones, the ones that don't get whispered about on Reddit. You put SVG in a Hendrick car on a Hendrick oval program with a Hendrick crew chief. Mates, that's not a driver. That's a championship contender. And Trackhouse knows it, which is exactly why they extended him before the Zilisch announcement, to control the narrative, not to elevate the driver. So here's where we land after all the evidence. Is Trackhouse actively sabotaging Shane Van Gisbergen? Probably not in the cartoon villain sense. No one's loosening lug nuts in the garage, but are they prioritizing Connor Zilisch's development at SVG's expense? Are they investing more oval program resources into the 18-year-old than the 36-year-old who's actually winning races for them right now? Are they comfortable letting SVG be branded a road course specialist because it suits their long-term American driver succession plan? Based on the timeline, the engine program, the simulator hours, and the contract sequencing, I reckon they are. And the Australian and Kiwi fans who've followed Shane since his V8 Supercars days deserve to hear someone say it out loud. And the good news? SVG is still SVG. The bloke is a generational talent, and even on dodgy oval equipment, he's clawing his way to top 10s. Give him 1 year of proper Hendrick grade gear, and the conversation changes overnight. So here's what I want from you. If you back the bloke, if you reckon SVG deserves better than being a road course mascot for somebody else's succession plan, drop the words Team SVG in the comments. Let the algorithm carry it. Let Trackhouse see it. Let the American media see that the ANZAC fan base is watching, and we're not stupid. We see the pattern, and we're not letting it slide. I'm out. Catch you next time on NASCAR Nation Decoded.